Hey everybody, welcome to get into this game. We will be spawning directly on top of OG Buzz, who is a representative for oGaming. oGaming is right now in an unfortunate spot because they have officially lost his clan war, but why not continue? Because we're guaranteed 4 best of 3s. Let's bring you the said 4 best of 3s. Blue Zerg, no, that's a green Zerg, going up against a pink Terran, who at the bottom left, who is intense, representing underrated gaming. Right now, won that last game with some incredible marine splitting, and now we've got our potentially deciding game. If not, we'll have Buzz win and get to an ace match, and that's going to be a deciding game, as we have Daybreak being the map. And what the... Really?
What?
I just got, thank you. One of my friends just said TQ Xander rules, but with a bunch of spaces in between each one. So that was a little weird. I'm going to tell him thank you. Thank you.
Okay. I thought there was like a SCV pool. I was like, oh god! I was so excited.
I'm sorry. I was just confused and exclaimed it.
Oh well. But no proxy racks this game. I feel like Daybreak's not really the map for that. Although the last game that Barracks was really poorly placed for Buzz's particular Overlord spread. But well, what else is there to say about this game? What do you think about Daybreak for TVZ? How about that?
I think it is a perfect map for Zerg. It forces Terran, I think, to do a lot of weird things along the lines of drops and everything to put pressure on. But Zerg, they can get away with an early third or play for like a really good 2-base infestor attack or something. Go for a heavy link style. They can just endlessly deny this third if they're really, really effective with it. They can see that third coming and they attack with a run by or something. It will never be able to get up. I've seen some disgustingly, amazingly play on this map involving quick ultras, fast hive, and a Terran that can never go beyond 2 bases.
So what you're saying is Daybreak is really good for Zerg.
Yes.
Just making sure. I wasn't quite getting that from your exclamation.
I don't see how you could. I'm
Zergs.
obviously impartial.
Yes, very obviously you're very unbiased, but I actually agree with you. I think Daybreak was one of my favorite maps as a Zerg player, before I kind of switched over to random and then inevitably Terran. But we do see a pool first, actually, which at the time when I was watching I was like, oh, hum-dum-dum-dum, but actually you don't go pool first against a Terran.
No, you don't.
It's kind of weird. Maybe he was expecting more cheese and he just wanted to be really, really safe.
I mean, considering that we did see an 11 rack start and we have a 2-player map once again, double 11 racks would not be out of the question. And that is...
Oh, never mind.
What?
There's a Roachborn.
Oh, there's
a reason for that early pool.
Oh, so we're gonna have possibly a 7 roach rush or something. Like we're having a really old school early base 7 roach rush as opposed to the newer hatch first delayed one that's mainly used to put pressure on and kill a Hellion opener type of roach rush.
Yeah, this is really old. And another interesting thing to point out is that he actually only has 2 guys on gas. I'm not sure if that was on purpose or not. He does have 170 gas saved up, obviously. He did not go for speed. Is this SCV going to scout it? Oh, SCV, why did you do that? Okay.
Yeah.
It was like, you know what's a great place to go through? All the eggs. I would love to go through there, and then it died.
Alright, so now we're having the roaches go in, and I do believe the 2 guys on gas is on purpose. It's making sure you don't get overwhelmed by the high gas at the start and low minerals, because he's probably going to want to get a lot of drones behind this, and if you look at his ratio of minerals to gas, it's perfect.
Yeah, okay. Well, I do want to actually note that even though he died not seeing the Roachborn, he saw all the eggs, so he could be thinking, okay, maybe that was just a lot of drones, or he could be like...
Or he could be about to take a ton of damage because he's building a tech lab on his barracks and is getting Hellions out and landed his orbital command at his natural
I want to say he did not think that those would all be roaches, which it would have been like, you know, really paranoid of him to be like, eggs-filled roaches. But anyways, luckily there is a tech lab, as you were saying, so at least the Marauders will start. He'll have a few. This roach...
he was supply blocked.
What?
He was supply blocked. He just canceled his Marauder. He thought he built a Marine.
Oh,
the supply depot is going down to... Oh, no.
Okay, well, this will actually really escalate into something bad really, really quickly. The tech lab... No, go ahead.
42 out of 30 food for Intense.
Oh my gosh.
This is terrible. And
No supply depots.
guys, remember that roaches have +1 armor just default, so SCVs don't do all that much damage, but the Hellions are going to be able to be in range to attack, plus they have the splash damage advantage, but we just saw a little bit of unhappiness as Buzz has now killed 14 SCVs.
Oh man. Wow. So that escalated really, really quickly. The supply block, of course the supply depot going down, and the fact the Marauder was canceled all really added up into something not Gusta for Intense. And you know, behind this, Buzz just was droning, getting that third. No extra Queens, which is something I don't like from Buzz's play so far. But you know, c'est la vie.
Let's see if these 4 Hellions can actually do something similar to those 7 Roaches. And with the Roaches and the Queen and everything attacking, looks like some damage will be done, but these Hellions are getting cleaned up very easily. They do manage to get 7 drones, which is nice, but Buzz is still ahead in the supply. He is actually ahead in the drones, but to be honest, 22 SCVs to 29 drones, those Hellions did the damage and pressure that they needed.
Yeah, they definitely, you know, evened it up a little bit more, but here's what's coming. A small group of MM is coming, and he just made 11 drones. Oh, okay, Larva just popped. Phew.
Okay. We're seeing pushing in. Now we've got 10 links along the way. These Roaches are taking a lot of hits. We actually see that there's concussive shells on these Marauders, which is too often I see people going for Marauder Hellion without concussive shells, and I understand why. Rear kiting is exponentially more powerful with the concussive shells. Now, just seeing it destroyed. Wow, he's actually really staying alive now.
He has actually gone above the worker kills of Buzz, so this has actually done some great damage. The Marauders are actually still alive. The Hellion, so low on health, actually being microed, finally falls, and he will have to go back eventually now with the 16 lings on the way, but he definitely evened up the score.
Yeah, this is, I think you're slightly ahead of me, because now we're just watching those Hellions going down. If it's 10:04, 10:05, 10:06.
Oh no, I was actually behind you, so.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm at 10:14 now. Alright, so now we do see that Intense is just happily SCVing up, continue to build some more Hellions, and actually, look at these Hellions, I think he might have left 2 lanes behind. The way they popped out, it looked like they were rallied directly on top of the Factor, while the Factor was rallied out. I think he did that with 2 fewer Hellions than he meant.
Huh, interesting. Well, it looks like he's actually going to push out again. He's just going to put on some relentless pressure to make up for the initial pressure that Buzz did, although that last game, Intense was like really good about just constant pressure, but also really good macro behind it. It's just like a cool play to see, those constant aggressions. So I really enjoy it, but Buzz might not so much. He might, you know, be thinking, I really want to drone right now, and unfortunately he has to make 20 more lings.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting battle. I don't think we have any type of bandlings or anything on the field, so no splash is going to be there, but the Hellions are in front! All the Hellions are in front. That is the wrong move. We want those in the back so that these Marines and Marauders can actually tank, but you know what? The Marines are still adding a lot of DPS, and they're in position for it. You do have the Marauders in front, which is exactly what you want in this MM situation. We've got the Vespene Geyser encircling the force field, and we do see a little bit of a surround, but look at the choke. These are dancing around and not able to actually get around Vespene Geyser, but there's still just too many of them, and they do manage to clean up that attack.
Yeah, yeah, really unfortunate about those Hellions. Those Hellions could have done so much damage, but they tried to retreat, and their own Marauders stabbed them in the back and said, no, you're gonna have to tank for us, buddy. Those poor Hellions. Right. So mad at them.
The Marauders are being so selfish. How could you?
They really are. But then they were like friends with the Marines, so then they tanked for the Marines. The Marines are the top dog.
Alright, but this is gonna be a little bad because Buzz just lost a bunch of wings for nothing.
Yeah, I think he just keeps expecting Intense to slip on his macro every single time those engagements happen, so maybe, you know, thinking maybe I'll get lucky, and every single time Intense just had this small group of very efficient Marines and Marauder and a few Hellions to just, you know, completely deny any counterattacks by Buzz, and we do see a Spire coming out for Buzz right now, so this will be really interesting to see if Intense expects it. He has not as many Marines as he could, obviously, but definitely a missile turret, so this could surprise him.
The most interesting thing about this game, though, is the fact that we are not seeing a tank switch. Intense is sticking with Hellions completely, along with the Marauders and the Marines. I feel I almost want to say it's the right decision, because without the Banelings, and the tanks wouldn't be able to snipe and everything, which is what one of their main powers is in the real TvZ battles. So the Marauders end up functioning as the tanks, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a tricky line to balance. When to go for the tanks if you're going for this kind of a style.
well, the thing is that this style is so popular thanks to that whole like shift in the metagame where Zergs went infestors all the time, right? So the Marauders could snipe them, they could outlast the Fungals, etc., etc. So I think once he realized there's Mutalisk, he might, you know, start thinking, or and the Banelings, of course, because the Banelings has just finished. He might start thinking about getting those tanks. Is his factory still at home? Yeah, it's still at home. So he definitely, I think, wants to go into tanks eventually. If not, he would have sent that out like it was a TVP.
Oh, I think he's got all this Hellions completely surrounded. And what I really like is that Buzz pulled back a big portion of his Lings so they didn't take unnecessary deaths. Because you can see how damaged this group of Lings are. If they had all sent around, I think another dozen would have fallen.
That's a very nice point. Intent's actually very good on his Mutalisk timing, so even though he's not sure, at least I don't think so. Yeah, he didn't scout the Mutalisk. Even though he's not sure he's going Mutalisk, the turret timing will actually really help him out here, as 6 Mutalisk do come in and they're immediately repelled. Or 5, 6, I was right.
Yeah.
Oh, he actually finds a the call down supply depot, but he's not being able to get it, so that was a nice pick off though.
Yeah, I mean, we're already watching a bunch of, there we go, now that they're being pushed away, but what's really weird is why did Intense take this for his third base, when Buzz has never even ventured into the normal third, and this is being stared at by this Overlord over here?
That is very interesting, and maybe it has something to do with the fact that he has no tanks, so Planetary Fortress can be something that, you know, he can push and feel really safe from the counterattacks, because he has a Planetary at his third, rather than that really vulnerable third where I can tell you how many times I take this third where you normally get it, and Ling counterattacks just ruin my day. Even if there's a bunker, they just, you know, stay on the left side, so
But you got a PF anyway.
Well, well, sometimes, a lot of times you see those 3 orbital openings.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, especially if you're going to take that base. The Planetary Fortress is usually only saved for this base where he has it. I don't know, though. It could just be like a, you know, a whim. It could be a style. I don't know.
All I know is the fact that 2 medevacs and a full drop got picked off by Mutas outside of the main base. Mutas and Lings a couple seconds ago, so that's a pretty big loss. Intense wants to do a double-pronged attack, and now he's going to get fully surrounded yet again, and Ben's going to get some very nice explosions off, and there is just a complete slaughter fest right now, and Buzz is really showing a commanding lead now in this game.
Yeah, definitely. His last game, of course, was a little weird, but now I think he's really hit his stride. He's currently up by 50 supply. Banelings, there's 1 for each Marine, so the amount of splitting can really help him here. The Planetary Fortress is not going to go down. I can't tell if it's going to go down or not. It is.
Yep, the Mutas and the Banelings come in, and that's just enough, and now we're down to Intense with 2 bases and a 40 food deficit. And that's really unfortunate.
It is. He's currently getting command center at home, so at least his economy's not going to be that bad if he survives. But that loss of the Planetary was really big, and he lost a lot of SCVs too. 35 SCVs killed for Buzz, so...
Wait a second, Buzz hasn't got a 4th at all yet. What?
I thought no, he canceled it. Or was it sniped? It was canceled because of the drop.
Okay, yeah, there it is. Now he's putting 1 down there.
Yeah, so he definitely wants that. He's going to become oversaturated if he doesn't get it soon. Although he's only at 57 drones, not as high as he would like to be, especially with a hive on the way. But, you know, I think he feels, you know, I think I can defeat it right here, right now if I get enough stuff. So he might try another attack fairly soon, or he might just play it safe and go up to Broodlords.
He was able to shut down that 3rd base of Intense, which makes it excusable to have fewer bases, just because he's not horribly behind. But yeah. Intense is now dropping again. He's going to be able to attack this next base, but you know what? Buzz is fully aware of his vulnerability in that likelihood, so he's got units well there for this.
Yeah, I think his Ling actually saw the medevac. I guess it was kind of rallied that way, so he was just totally prepared. Those poor Marines and medevac. The third has actually been situated once again for Intense. Going to turn into another planetary, so hopefully it doesn't get taken out again, because that's a very expensive orbital, or command center if it's a planetary. But, you know, Buzz is up by 60 supplies. Upgrades are looking fabulous, although Intense has been really good about his as well. But the army is just so big for Buzz.
Yeah, this is a devastating amount. And we also have adrenal glands being researched as well, so that's going to be hugely beneficial for those lings.
You know what, though? He hasn't chosen a hive tech yet.
He's using them just now for the upgrades to actually like. I think if he wants to go hive tech, he needs to have another base.
That's very true. His base just finished. He's making 10 more drones to go ahead and saturate it. So maybe, you know, soon he's going to go ahead and choose, you know, Ultrask or Greater Spire. But the upgrades are definitely well worth the hive, especially when you're already in a supply lead by 60 supply. Oh, his lings are going to eat through everything. Or his banelings, actually. How many banelings? Yeah, he could have more, but still.
I think he should just throw down an Ultra Cavern and just start kiting his plating. There's no reason not to have it ready at the very least. And plus, right now we have omnipotent vision, but we do have only 2 tech labs on top of these racks, which means not very many Marauders can be made. But there are a bunch of just naked racks over here around the base. And actually, wait a second. You know what? He has not a single reactor racks.
Oh, he has one.
He does?
Yeah, it's as near as gas and his main.
Oh yeah, there's one reactor on the rack.
There's one.
But I mean, this is so not Terran.
Yeah, it's really weird. Sometimes, you know, they were talking about how it's a style not to do it in the mid game, but definitely the late game. You want to have as many reactors and add-ons as possible. So this is kind of weird, like you're saying. Might be because he feels just so low on minerals, he doesn't want to like risk it, and he's not he's not max. So, but I definitely want to see it. That's a really good point to bring up.
Yeah. All right. So now, running around, we're seeing that group spread is actually looking to be semi-decent. I mean, it could be better, but this has been a very action-packed, low-economy game, so I don't really fault him at all for that. Considering the siege tanks game position, though, we might going to see these moves get the perfect flank. It looks like they're going to. There we have the army coming in. They're directly targeting down those siege tanks. They're going to dissipate so quickly. Oh, this is going to be a massacre.
Oh man, I'm really confused. Intense, luckily, Buzz didn't decide to go ahead and attack up that ramp, but Intense split, but not near his tanks. That actually wouldn't have gone that well for him if Buzz had decided to move up there. But now sniping a few medevacs, that's really nice. Back in the vision of the tanks though, but there's so many lings and so much stuff, I don't think it matters. He might get everything here, or he might sacrifice his Mutos and Marines. I don't know, you know, either one.
Oh. Down to 11. God, those mutas just evaporate so quickly against significantly more upgrades on the Marines.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. He's actually making 12 more, so really wants to stay with this heavy ling muta style.
Hey. Wow, he gets a nice surround on those Marines and Marauders down there. Picks off a nice chunk of them. So he still has a 50 supply lead, but I would say, considering that he took down the tanks, it's okay to stick with his style, but I want to see him get some infestors out. I want to see him start going to Broodlords. I want him to start expanding. I want him to progress.
You know what this is like? This is like, you know, like, what was it, like 4 months ago or something like that? The GSL finals between Jotchi and Lenok. You know, when the Muta Bling Ling was so really popular, I mean, he was on that style for so long in that game #1, but the thing is, he got double Spire because he planned on it, and while Buzz is doing something really interesting, I don't think he's, like, using the full potential of it. You know, either get the double Spire and, like, really go all in with it, or choose to get a hive tech.
I agree with you completely. We're actually have a double drop that's going to get decimated.
Yeah.
Wow. That is not how you want drops to go. But we have 59 Banelings on the field, and we have this much against almost pure Marines. This is going to be devastating when they actually engage. Those Banelings split, the tanks can get those key shots off, and oh, this is going to be an interesting, explodey, very green and red battle.
It will be. Okay, here they come, actually. The tanks aren't sieged immediately. Now they are, but the banks, there's so many Banelings that they may just actually explode on the tanks because they don't care. There's so many of them. And yeah, there's actually more Banelings than there are Marines. The Mutas are still alive. And this is probably the beginning of the end for Buzz. The planetary goes down. His third is not landed for some reason.
Oh, there was an Overlord pooping 3 minutes. I think it's for
Oh,
Zerg there as
now
well.
there's a thing. I see it now. Yeah, so his fourth went down. His third, luckily, will go down, eventually. But the Zerg is looking so good right now.
He just called down mules to his third, where there's no command center.
He doesn't realize it. Yeah, how he's using the SCVs to kill it through the missile turrets. That's pretty funny.
Oh, this
It's a slow death. Intent is. He's putting up quite a fight. Marines are really, really good in low economy situations. They're good, pound for pound. But he's gonna be so low on minerals after a while. Sooner or later, Buzz is gonna decide to go for a lair or a hive tech that's really gonna catch Intense by surprise. Either one right now would just decimate Intense, Ultralisk or Broodlords. I would love to see him choose.
Yeah, but now these links are in such, to be honest, insignificant numbers against this counter Marines. He wants to end it, but he just can't quite yet, and Intense is just holding on as well as he possibly could in this situation. And 11 more mutas are coming in, and we are having +3 being researched for those mutas, but this is a significant force pushing out for Intense, and it's not to be underestimated, especially with the micro we've seen from him, and without Banelings from Buzz at the moment, they're just now starting to morph.
Yeah, really interesting, or really weird that he doesn't have Banelings, but now he will have Banelings, and he's up by 100 supply right now. He just needs to wait for his entire force to go for that kill. Only one tank in position, and here we go, the killing blow. Where are the Banelings going against, that was funny. They went after 2 Marines, but here they go again.
Yep. Here we go again. As they're pushing in, destroying everything. And yes, they're saying Mamma Mia. As we're watching pushing forward, all these mutas are in strength. And GG gets called by Intense.
That I was like, where is that from?
Yes, Mamma Mia.
I'm so glad you said it.
Mamma Mia, here we go again.
For those of you who didn't catch it on screen, when I said that's really weird, the Banelings went after 2 Marines.
Yes.
That's what I was talking about.
So we actually are going to get to another deciding game. This has been the series of just getting to the third games for these best of series, and you know what? I can tell you now for a fact, this next game is going to be the final game of the entire Clan War, so be excited for it. We get to have another great game between these two players of Buzz and Intense, so let's get to it, because I'm very curious, as we just had a 29-minute and 55-second game.